You probably won't believe me. Most people don't. But I have to tell someone what really happened to Liam. Because the official story, the one about him running away, is a comfortable lie we tell ourselves so we can sleep. I haven't slept properly in 3 years. Not since our trip to the Northgate Galleria. Let's do a roll call, drop your country flag in the comments so I know where all the horror fans are watching from. It was Maya's idea, of course. She was obsessed with urban exploration, her Instagram feed a gallery of decay and forgotten places. The Northgate Galleria was her personal Everest, a massive two-story monument to 90s consumerism, shuttered in, 98, after a series of financial disasters. It sat on the edge of town like a beached whale, its pastel-colored facade peeling, its glass doors boarded up and tattooed with graffiti. The local legend was that it was a time capsule, perfectly preserved inside. The legend left out the important parts. There were 3 of us, me, Maya, and Liam. Liam was the group's resident daredevil, the one who saw a no trespassing sign as a personal invitation. He had his phone out before we even found a way in, already narrating for a future YouTube video that would never get made. "Alright guys, we're here at the infamous Northgate Galleria," he whispered dramatically, his breath fogging in the chilly October air. "They say it's haunted by the ghost of bad fashion." We found our entrance around the back, a rusted service door pried open just enough to squeeze through. The second I slipped inside, the air changed. Outside, it was crisp autumn. Inside, it was thick, cold, and dead. The smell hit me first. A cloying mix of dust, mildew, and something else. Something faintly sweet and chemical, like a vat of melted potpourri. Our flashlight beams cut through the oppressive darkness, dancing across faded floor tiles and empty storefronts. But then Liam stopped. "Whoa, no way." He was pointing up. Floating in the blackness above the main concourse was a single point of light, a glowing pink and blue neon sign for a Suncoast video. It hummed with a low electric pulse, casting the cavernous space in an eerie twilight. "How is that possible?" Maya whispered, clinging to my arm. "The power's been cut for decades." Liam just laughed, the sound swallowed by the immense silence. "Guess the ghosts are paying the electric bill." The deeper we went, the stranger it got. The dust that covered everything near the entrance seemed to vanish the closer we got to the mall's grand atrium. Here, the moonlight filtered down through a massive, grime-caked skylight, illuminating a horrifyingly pristine scene. A large fountain, its water a still, black mirror, sat in the center, and all around it were the mannequins. They weren't just standing there. They were posed in elaborate tableaus of shoppers frozen in time. A family of 4 stood before the boarded-up entrance to a department store called Trendsetters, the father pointing, the mother laughing with her head thrown back, a young boy on his tiptoes with excitement. They were all dressed in immaculate 90s clothes, acid-washed jeans, vibrant windbreakers, chunky sneakers that looked brand new. Their plastic skin had no dust, no cracks. Their painted eyes seemed to have a depth, a gloss, that was deeply, fundamentally wrong. "This is creepy," I murmured, my voice feeling small. "They look too real." "They're watching us," Maya said, her voice trembling. "I swear that one," she pointed to the laughing mother, "her head was turned the other way a second ago." "You're just spooked," Liam said, though even he had stopped filming. He walked right up to the mannequin family, peering into their blank faces. "See? Just plastic. Really well preserved, though. This is awesome." We spent what felt like an hour wandering through this silent, neon-lit mausoleum. The feeling of being watched was a physical weight on my shoulders. Every shadow seemed to move at the edge of my vision. The silence was so profound that I could hear my own heartbeat thudding in my ears. We were about to call it a night, convinced the glowing sign was just a weird fluke, an urban legend that was mostly hype. That was our moment of safety, the breath you take before you plunge underwater. Then a sound crackled through the air. It was a sharp burst of static from ancient, tinny speakers hidden in the ceiling. We all froze. A cheerful, disembodied female voice, warped and wavering like an old cassette tape, echoed through the atrium. "Attention, Northgate Galleria shoppers. The time is now 3 a.m. Our final clearance sale is about to begin. Everything must go before closing. Don't miss these once-in-a-lifetime deals. The message looped, playing again and again, the cheerful voice a sickening counterpoint to the dead silence that followed each repetition. This wasn't a prank. The sound was coming from everywhere at once, embedding itself in my bones. "Okay," Maya whispered, her face pale in the moonlight. "I'm done. We need to go, now." While you're listening, if this happened to you, would you tell anyone or keep it a secret forever? Be honest. But Liam, ever the performer, just grinned. "A final clearance sale? For us?" He strode purposefully towards the trendsetter's display. "I'm not leaving empty-handed." "Liam, don't be an idiot," I hissed. "Let's go." He ignored me. His eyes were fixed on a male mannequin standing alone inside the dark storefront, a black leather jacket draped perfectly over its shoulders. It was a beautiful jacket, the kind that was back in style. "Score," he said, stepping over a velvet rope and approaching the figure. He slipped the jacket off its stiff, unyielding frame. The instant the leather left the mannequin, a sound rippled through the mall. It wasn't loud, just a soft, collective click, like 100 plastic joints locking into a new position. I spun around. The laughing mannequin mother in the atrium was no longer laughing. Her head was now swiveled on her neck, her unblinking, painted eyes fixed directly on Liam. The excited little boy was no longer pointing. His arm was now at his side, his head tilted as if listening. Every single mannequin in sight had moved. They were all looking at Liam. The mannequin he'd taken the jacket from began to move. Its head turned with a slow, grating creak of old plastic. Its painted smile didn't change, but its posture did, shifting from a relaxed pose to something rigid, something purposeful. A voice, dry and raspy like autumn leaves, skittering across pavement, whispered from its unmoving lips. "Payment is required." Liam jumped back, his bravado finally cracking. "What the hell?" From all around us, the whisper was picked up by the other mannequins. A chorus of dry, rustling voices. "Payment required! Payment required!" They started to step down from their platforms, their movements jerky and unnatural, like stop-motion animation come to life. "Fine! Fine!" Liam yelled, his voice shaking. He fumbled for his wallet. "How much? $20? 50? The mannequin that once wore the jacket took a stiff step forward. It raised one hand, its 5 smooth, jointless fingers spread wide. "5!" It rasped, the sound seeming to scrape the inside of its hollow chest. $5? For this jacket? Deal, Liam said, a hysterical edge to his laugh. The mannequin's head shook slowly from side to side, the grating sound of plastic on plastic making my teeth ache. Its smile was a painted rictus of pure malice. "Not dollars," it whispered, and the awful chorus joined in, their voices filling the vast, dead space. "Years." That broke the spell. Maya screamed, a raw, terrified sound that finally got my feet to move. I grabbed her hand and we ran, stumbling through the dark, not daring to look back. I heard Liam shout my name. I risked a single glance over my shoulder. The mannequins had formed a silent, closing circle around him. They weren't running, they just glided, their movements impossibly fast and smooth. Liam dropped the jacket and scrambled to escape, but it was too late. The last thing I saw before we burst back through the service door and into the blessed, normal night was a sea of plastic hands reaching for him. We heard a single, muffled scream, and then it was cut off as if a switch had been flipped. We told the police we'd gotten into a fight and Liam had stormed off. They searched the mall, of course. They found it sealed tight, powerless, and utterly empty. No jacket, no Liam, just dust and silence. They think he's a missing person, but I know he's not missing. He's been bought. Sometimes, late at night, I see him. It's never for long. A glimpse of a man in a crowd, reflected in a passing bus window, or just standing on a street corner under a flickering lamp. He looks much older, his face etched with a weariness that doesn't belong on a 21-year-old. His hair is thinner, tinged with gray, and he's always wearing that black leather jacket. He never looks at me. He just stares ahead with empty eyes, as if searching for the next great deal. He's still paying his debt, 1 year at a time. and I know, with a cold certainty that lives in my stomach, that eventually, the Northgate Galleria will hold another sale. After all, everything must go. Before you go, which part of the story gave you goosebumps? Comment below and let's see who was the bravest tonight. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for more.